And Bernie Sanders might run. I like Bernie. Bernie's an interesting guy. Apparently, some folks really want to see a pot-smoking socialist in the White House. We could get a third Obama term after all. Could happen.
I've always looked up to comedians, characters like Elliot from The Magicians, people who can go into any situation, positive or negative, and lighten the mood. Humor makes us more likable. Studies have shown that people who are humorous are viewed as more attractive for both men and women. Humor has the ability to disarm tension and is a basic human trait we share across all cultures. In the past, I took improv classes because I wanted to improve my comedic timing and conversation. I had a lot of fun and met a ton of cool people, but I felt a lot of what I learned wasn't directly transferable in my day-to-day. I still frequently ran into the issue that I was unable to use yes and in improv games to interact with people day-to-day. I especially still find myself being awkward around strangers and people that I'm attracted to. So I decided to find out if there was a consistent way to become a funnier person without looking like a tryhard. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to find a silver bullet for comedy. Humor is a complex topic to dissect. Many people have many different takes on why something is funny or why a person is funny. For this video, I asked some comedian friends I know in real life and did a lot of research into the theories of humor. This video won't have 4 easy tips and tricks that one can manipulate to be funnier. Instead, we'll be focusing on 4 different things that all humor types have in common, and by being aware of these, you can build your own brand of humor.
Nope.
Number 1. Common ground. In order to make people laugh, it's critical to establish a common ground with them. Finding out what makes you similar will be a major boon to making them laugh. Are you both from the same city? Do you like similar foods? Do you both have siblings? In a way, comedy is all about relationships. People want to feel like they understand you, and more importantly, that you understand them. As an example, let's watch this comedian endear himself to the audience through self-deprecation.
I was a kid and my voice changed. I've been told by people all over the country, people of different ethnicities, backgrounds, I've been told by people that I have an incredibly white voice. That's what they say. And people try to act like they can't hear, but if I called and then showed up, you'd be surprised. Like, you know? Every time even my laugh is like, ha ha ha. Like every time I laugh, someone somewhere gets audited.
What Josh is doing here is establishing a baseline. He's showing people that he's vulnerable, just like them. This is a powerful way to quickly form a bond with your audience. From here, the audience will trust you more, and you'll be able to utilize the next tip better. Number 2. Subverting expectation. When scientists ran tests on why people laugh, they discovered that laughter is a reaction to the brain being caught off guard. This is known as the incongruity theory. Rowan Atkinson, more commonly known as Mr. Bean, from Funny Business describes it as, by behaving in an unusual way, by being in an unusual place, or by being the wrong size. The brain is constantly scanning its environment for threats. As such, the brain begins to notice things in the environment that are abnormal and treats them with excess attention. A comedian will establish a world with their story. The audience expects the story to conclude in one way, but then the comedian takes a hard left. This other reality can be ridiculous or believable. Here's an example. "Is the doctor at home?" the patient asked in his bronchial whisper. "No," the doctor's young and pretty wife whispered in reply. "Come right in." This example is funny because it shatters our expectation. We believe that the patient is looking for the doctor, when in reality, he's having an affair with the doctor's wife. Number 3. Authenticity. A person must feel confident in their environment. People are at their funniest when they are being themselves. Most humor relies on the comedian being able to draw from personal life events. When Kevin Hart cracks jokes, he's doing it from a point of authenticity. Then, when he surprises his audience with comedic elements in his story and good timing, people absolutely lose their minds. In order to be authentic, pay attention to the things in your life. As Ray Dalio put it, what do you want? What is true? What should you do to achieve number 1 in light of number 2, and do that with humility and open-mindedness so that you consider the best thinking available to you. With comedy, what we want is to make people laugh. What's true is our own backgrounds. In light of what we want and what's true, we can create entertaining stories from our lives. Confidence and risk-taking are extremely important when telling jokes. You need to believe your joke is funny before someone else will. Many jokes won't get off the ground, but you can't let that discourage you. Number 4. Observation. Observation is the process of reading the crowd and adjusting accordingly. DJs do this skill quite well. If you have 3 songs from 3 different genres, pop, hip-hop, and EDM, but the crowd only responds positively to your EDM songs, it's your duty to play to the crowd. With comedy, it's harder to be able to read what types of jokes an audience might like, and trust me, I've bombed before, but this is a skill we all implicitly possess through body language cues, so don't stress on it too much. Putting these 4 ideas into action. Now let's deliver some actionable ways you can inject more humor into your future conversations. The steps will be as follows. 1. Observe and listen. 2. Establish and find common ground with you and the person or the group. 3. Find a point where you can say the opposite thing or have some clever insight into the topic. And 4. Tell the joke with confidence. Keep in mind that comedy is subjective, and everything you say might not land with your audience. In the words of Wayne Gretzky, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Here's an example. Let's say you're hanging out with your friends at a bar after work. One of your friends starts complaining about their boss and deadlines. From observing the situation, we've learned that our friend is feeling frustrated that they're not being heard by their boss. They're venting to you because you are a trusted source of comfort. The common ground you can establish here are multiple. Letting off steam, the bond you and your friend have built since you've known each other, frustration about not being heard, etc. Next, let's subvert expectations. Let's try it with letting off steam. Your friend is expecting you to have their side, given your history. You could ease the tension by cracking a joke that you're in a relationship with their boss, making it seem like you switch sides. Funny, your boss was telling me the same things about you on our date last night. Or they could say, I'm really glad you're here to listen, and you could say, sorry, what? Conclusion. There isn't one easy thing you can do to become funnier, but there are baseline things you can focus on to improve your confidence and humor. Don't give up. Sometimes an audience isn't in tune with your style of humor, but this doesn't mean you're not funny. The best thing a comedian can do is to become a good listener. The greatest comedians are intense observationalists. They are able to dissect what makes life not worth taking so seriously and worth living. Thanks for watching.